I always say that convenience is killing us. Because every time you put a hot liquid in those cups, you're getting thousands
and we don't know that.
People colon cancer rates are going out of
Isn't
control.
that insane that colon cancer rates are going up?
Younger and younger people. So
why? It's because of that.
I mean, there's still data still coming out. She says that the recommendations will take a decade. We should be getting colonoscopies a decade earlier.
Asha Walker. You are the founder of Health in the Hood and the Cured app. You really are so thoughtful with the content that you share because you really show the gamut of when you're in the weeds, when you're actually in your meetings, when you're at the supermarket shopping for your produce. Why aren't we taught about the nervous system?
And there's some parts of our society that don't want us to be and feel empowered. If I see one more thing for protein water, I'm going to scream.
Who's benefiting from selling that line? What part of building something like this that nobody prepares you for? My father, he's been going through heart health problems. 3 years ago, he had triple bypass. And what does modern leadership look like to you? Welcome to the Aligned Authority, Asha Walker.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are the founder of Health in the Hood and the Cured app.
Yes.
There's so many things that we have to talk about. Let's talk about your origin story.
Okay.
There's so much to unravel here. Talk to us when you knew you had a mission in life and Health in the Hood was in your heart.
I love that question. What a great place to start. Start at the beginning, right?
Yep.
So my origin story starts. I'm a Miami kid, born and raised in the county of Dade.
Yeah, 305.
305 for life, Chick Daddy for life. And I think, I grew up in a family where service and social justice was really in the fabric of the DNA of my family. My parents were educators. They started a high school for kind of truant kids. And so I always knew that you could give back to your community. And as a side project, my dad would get grants from the city of Miami. We would come together as a family and write these grants. And we had a lot in Overtown that for my 13-year-old bat mitzvah service project, we turned into an urban farm. So I just always knew that you could sort of bring together a community, apply for county or city or public funding, and you could make something really magical happen. So I took that with me into my non-for-profit career, which I started sort of after college, and then kind of said, well, I'm really passionate. I know how to engage communities. I care about health. And I know you can create something really powerful with some community input. And so that was really where Health in the Hood was born. I wrote our first grant because I kind of knew how from my family's background, and we got it. And that was 13 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible because obviously it was instilled in you at a very young age.
Yeah.
And you actually really saw what was going on in our communities. And many times we don't get to know what goes on in our communities.
I think that's right. And it's also this idea of like knowing that there's simple solutions to big problems and you don't have to solve them all at once. I think sometimes it can feel overwhelming and people have ideas and purpose and passion, but it's like, you don't have to do everything all at once. So I kind of started it with that mindset. Like, let me just chip away at this. Let me just plant one garden and see what happens. And it literally blossomed into now 9 farms and school gardens and education programs and fitness programs. So a small idea can really spark.
So talk to us about what food insecurity looks like. What does that mean? Obviously, we live in such a technologically advanced world, but there's such a stark contrast between how people live in this world. And obviously food is at the center of our life, meaning our health, what's going on with us in our day-to-day. Are we being poisoned? I mean, there obviously—
So well said. That's like 5 other podcasts.
The gamut is insane.
But food is the equalizer. It's at the hub of all of it, like you say.
But what does that look like to you? It sounds like it's pretty burdensome.
It can be. It's definitely like, I think—
Well, we're the glass half full type of gals here.
It depends on how you look at it, for sure. But you said it so well. It's the equalizer, right? So if you go into a community that has full access to fresh food, we go to the grocery store, Publix or Trader Joe's. We don't really think much of it. We hop in our car and, put our groceries in the back seat and go home and make dinner. For millions of families, not just in South Miami, but all across the country, live in food deserts where they are food insecure, which means that they have access to food, but it's mostly shelf-stable, ultra-processed foods. So there's no produce sections at the grocery stores in these communities. So a food desert is designated by the USDA as an area that's more than a mile away from a grocery store. So you really have, instead of like, a full produce section, kind of a mom and pop, bodegas or dollar stores. That's really where people are doing their grocery shopping. And those are lined with shelf-stable, ultra-processed foods that we know contribute to preventable diseases. So that's where the cycle really kind of starts.
And there's a lot of education, obviously, in what you do with Health in
Yeah.
the Hood, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so many verticals to our food supply,
Mm-hmm.
what is happening and what you're bringing into our communities.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge right now that you're facing based on all the heavy lift that you've had
Yeah.
to do with Health in the Hood?
Well, I think for us and my team, who are just the most dedicated, incredible, community-driven people you could ever hope to work with, is that you always feel like you're not doing enough. There are so many food deserts. We only have so many gardens. So for us, this idea of being able to tell our story, amplify our mission is huge. So opportunities like this to sit down and talk about it and share with a larger audience is how we sort of tackle that. But for us, it's not feeling like we want a garden on every street, on every food desert. We want food growing locally to just be the norm, just to be the default. Talking about creating infrastructure, wellness into our infrastructure as a society is really, I think, our big BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goals for sure.
Was there a moment that you were questioning yourself as to, can you even continue?
Like every day, at least quarterly. No, I mean, not from a passion standpoint or a purpose standpoint, really from a fiscal standpoint. Running a not-for-profit for 13 years, keeping the lights on is no joke. We're not-for-profit. We don't make a profit, right? We give everything away for free. We pay our staff, obviously. It's this really backwards logic that people think like, oh, you are a not-for-profit, so everyone's a volunteer. It's like, no, we're doing the most important work in the community, so people get paid like teachers and not nearly what they should be getting paid. But that's a big part of the model, is making sure that we have enough to support our staff, our team, our gardens. It takes money to grow food. So that's always been our biggest challenge, is having enough.
And it's interesting now, and so obviously we talk about food insecure communities. How about where the families are so burnt out, actually have access to everything at their fingertips, but they're not refueling their body the way they need to. And you know what? There's seasons in my life and even in our family's life that we fall into that category.
Absolutely. It's an ebb and a flow. And I always say, as long as you have clean eating as your default, that's your program, it's fine to deviate. Everyone needs to have a little fun sometimes. But the issue, like you say, is not having that as a default. We've gotten so far away from our roots and where our food comes from and how it serves us. So I always say that convenience is killing us.
You're absolutely right.
It's like, as soon as that microwave meal became available, it was like, well, I can make this quickly. I don't really care what's in it, and I can work more, I can get more hours, and I can hustle. And that's the balance we got to strike. So for me, it's really trying to retrain our minds, retrain sort of the infrastructure that we've sort of built around us, that slower is better. Your nervous system needs nourishment. Your body needs nourishment. And that, I think, is a shift that I'm starting to see twinges of, which is exciting.
You do such a good job on social media.
I don't know what I'm doing.
And it's so funny because I actually had this question for the end, but you literally you practice what you preach, right?
Yeah,
my favorite is seeing you in the car with your mask. You look like Michael Myers.
I have no mask shame. Zero mask shame. After your 40s, you can't mess around with moisture. You gotta lock that stuff in. And that means if you have a 90-minute drive, you're going to take that opportunity.
So if you see a beautiful lady with a white mask,
you won't know who I am because I'm covered behind my sun shield, my face mask.
Looking like Michael Myers on 95, that is Asha Walker. But you're absolutely right. After our 40s, we cannot mess around with moisture.
And in Florida, it's like an extra layer that you have to just be cognizant of, if that's something that's important to you. But I just feel like, I can definitely... I practice what I preach. I'm not wearing the mask because I think it's cute. I'm wearing it because I want to stay hydrated.
I love it. Those are my favorite moments. So for Health in the Hood, people obviously the beautiful impact that you're doing in our communities and the amazing organization, but they don't see the cost. Talk to us truly the resources, the ups and downs and the challenges and what happens where the cost is not there based on what you're trying to achieve.
So we're living in a really interesting time,
Right? It's interesting.
Things are up, things are down, things ebb, they flow. And as a not-for-profit, we have to sort of ride that roller coaster. And so when resources are cut, it really trickles down. And so we see it literally from, okay, this food bank just had its funding cut, so we no longer get food from this food bank, so we no longer can distribute the food that we got from that food bank. So we will have hundreds of families who come to rely on us for their weekly produce distributions that we have to turn away. So on the ground, it looks like actually not being able to provide the services that we have gotten so good at providing. So that is really like a tough one that we have to sort of, as a not-for-profit, always be navigating. So it's a challenge for sure.
And are you an empath?
I think you have to be in this work.
Yeah, you definitely
I think you
do.
have to be, whether you like it or not. Like you are kind of a sponge to all of it. You have to put a little bit of a protective barrier, otherwise you'll like just be depressed all the time.
Of course,
you know, because it's really the stories are. We're working on a big luncheon that we're putting together some stories for from the field, and it's just incredible to listen to how having fresh food in your backyard changes a community and what it was before and the type of struggles that the families that we serve deal with on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it is truly harrowing stuff that our families are just on a day-to-day balancing.
And you're truly, what you guys are doing is obviously the Lord's work, and to feel so deeply, I feel a little bit deeply, and I'm learning how to protect my heart, and because I just like, I cry for everything, right? So obviously, being in our community, you hear amazing stories, and you hear heart-wrenching stories, you know, and being able to continue is truly what wakes you up in the morning.
It does. It does. Like I always say I go to bed and I'm like out, and I wake up and I'm ready to go. And that's, I think, how you know when you have purpose. And I think that's sort of part of being a founder is like, you didn't do it because you kind of wanted to do it. You did it because you felt called. You did it because you're an empath. So all those pieces, they fit into your lifestyle, not just your work, because it becomes your life. It's your life's work. That's a reason why that phrase exists. It really has to be your life's work.
And you talk about how you are the cure. What does that mean specifically? Because I just love your approach to everything, because you make it easy to understand, and you make us all feel like we can do that too.
Oh, I love that. You made me know I'm gonna cry. I feel like it's just this empowering. It came to me like on a beach walk. You know, anything good comes to you when you're in the right frequency. And the app is called Cure. So it's food, movement, and longevity, helping us all become our own health coaches, putting sort of a driver's seat rear view in your pocket. And the phrase "you're the cure" sort of grew from that. It's this empowering root cause wellness sort of way of thinking about things, as we are really good at outsourcing, right? Things are convenient. I will take a pill before I will look at my lifestyle. And I'm not saying you don't need a pill. You need health coaches and doctors. They need both. If I break my arm, I'm not going to a health coach. I'm going to my doctor. But there is something to be said about empowering ourselves with being advocates for our own well-being and our longevity, and thinking about how food and movement truly are medicine. It's a powerful position to be in when you feel like when you realize that you truly are your best cure.
And did you ever think that you would actually be a woman in tech, considering that?
No.
Isn't that wild?
No. But it's like as a founder, you kind of have to go with the curves and the ebbs and flows. And it was like, this is where things are going. And if I want to affect as many people as possible and sort of exponentially spread this message of empowerment and root cause well-being, I got to figure out how to extrapolate this to my brain. There's only one of me. I can only talk to so many people at once. So how do I really give us the tools? And so that's how being a wellness entrepreneur in the tech space came to be.
And was it a heavy lift? Obviously, you have an idea. The app world is crazy.
It's a little cray-cray.
Yeah.
It's a forever journey, no question. Like I thought, okay, I'm going to develop it, which was, oh my God, your developers are on the other side of the world. So you're up at
How many developers did you interview?
Actually, just a couple. The firm that I found was really solid, and I still work with them. So the decision was like, what type of firm? And I knew I was starting from scratch, so I would need a lot of support. So I worked with a firm that was sort of like really hands-on. I was the visionary, and I had incredible developers writing the code and taking my vision and bringing it to life in an app form, which was just a really cool process. But most of it happened at like 3 o'clock in the morning, because they're on the other side of the world. You want to make sure you get as many hours of the day as you can. And then getting it, secured on the Apple and the Android stores platforms was like a little nuts, but we got through. And so I thought that was like, okay, now we have an app. But
now what?
Now what? It's a forever thing.
Yeah.
In the tech space, you're constantly having to literally update and change and stay on top of the technology and learn a lot. So it's a great challenge.
Especially right now with AI, right?
Yeah.
how are you attacking AI or not, or what is, especially with the app, does it even make sense? Is it part of the business model?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. You know, until the robots take over, I'm gonna use them for what they can do to make our lives better, because it is. It's a, you know, my good girlfriend always says, like, for all the craziness that's going on, there's no other time in history you'd want to be alive. There's so much access, there's so much resource, there's so many solutions to the problems that we're facing, that how could we not implement and explore and try to figure out how to use these to make our lives better? You can also use them for evil. Same goes for social media. Like, my husband hates social media. I'm like, honey, you can use it for good too. I get it. There's a lot of bad on social media, no question. But you can actually use it as a tool for good too. So.
And is there a certain AI app that you just love?
Well, without getting political, I mean, I went to Anthropic instead of ChatGPT. That was one. Claude is like a billion times better anyway.
I'm little by
like
little.
She gets me, and I don't know. Maybe it's a guy, but I feel like Claude's a girl. She's got to be a girl.
I think I'm sold. I've been flirting with it. Make the switch. Yeah.
Definitely. It's just like,
I've been doing so much studying about it, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to have to make the switch.
It's more nuanced. It's really more nuanced. And then as far as the app goes, so that's like the next iteration of it, is weaving in different people's technology, your Aura Ring, your Fitbit, making sure your Whoop is talking to the Cured app. So there's so many things you can do to use that kind of power for good, that I think it would be, you'd be remiss not to.
Well, I think you've completely convinced me.
Okay, good. Yeah, Claude's powerful. I love her. I love her.
She's a girl.
She has to be. I mean, the voice is a boy, but she's just a girl for me. Claude
is a woman.
Claude's a woman. And the co-founder is a woman. So for me, I'm like, that's why she's a girl.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. So I'm sold.
Okay.
So obviously we're talking about wellness tech, the rise of biohacking. It's like I said, it's a whole new world. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Do you really think maybe right now a lot of things are just being repackaged just to look like something completely different, but it's the same?
Yeah. Like, if I see one more thing for protein water, I'm going to scream.
I think I've seen it.
You're not going to get targeted now because we just said it. So, like, it's literally the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like,
protein water.
Protein water.
How's that even possible?
I don't know.
Right? It's not possible.
Just eat a chicken breast. You know, have some turkey. I just, this idea, we've gotten so far away from, like, the roots of what we need. It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
I use this very simple food formula. You want to have a clean protein source, enough fiber, a complex carbohydrate, and a healthy fat on your plate. That's sort of like, as long as you have that quadrupled factor, that's all you really need.
That's
We've
all you
overcomplicated it. So I just feel like we can really go back to basics and find a lot of clarity there when the space feels really loud and noisy.
No, I love that. Just going back to basics.
Yeah.
And what do you think people are getting completely wrong about the wellness space?
That you have to do it all. You know, I think as a woman, like, there was this funny meme. It's like, okay, I'm 40. I have to run, get my steps, making sure I'm lifting weights, make sure I eat enough protein. And you do, but it doesn't have to be this like overwhelming, doing it all at once, especially if it's all new for you. Yeah. Like, start with one thing.
And then when you think you have to do all the things, you just end up eating your cookies because you're like, I can't even attack.
And the thing is that you can have your cookies. So I have plenty of kryptonite weaknesses. And right now it's these like mini rice cakes. God, they're so good. They have little like s'more flavorings on top. But like, if you work out in the morning and it's not, I'm gonna reward myself or punish myself with the gym with what I ate. It's like balance. You know, you can still have the things that you like. You just want to make sure you're adding in some more good stuff too.
So let's talk about scaling.
Yeah.
The Cured app.
Yeah.
Is there a vision to be able to scale it?
Yeah.
Are you able to give us a little peek?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll talk it into fruition for sure.
Please.
So it's been 2 years and it's getting really good feedback. It's been really more of like an organic, individual, one-on-one people downloading, because I wanted it to really like get its legs in the world before we sort of blasted it out. Yeah. So that's been really great. And now the next chapter is Cured for enterprises, right? So like corporations, companies, doctors' offices, they should be buying the app and having employees able to access it, and then having benefits, insurance companies wiping off benefits because you're using an app that's really improving your health outcomes. So that's really how I see it having exponential impact.
Asha, I love that.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the next chapter.
So So right now, are you reaching out to doctors? Are you reaching out to wellness facilities?
Yeah, you know, we're kind of taking it from this individual sort of proprietor to a larger market. Like I just did a really amazing corporate talk at this.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. That was really fun. I've been talking for 12 years. This is the first time it really was on a stage that was in a corporate setting and was compensated for. I was like, yes, finally my expertise is being valued in a really different kind of way. But like a company like that really values wellness for their employees enough to bring in a speaker to talk about wellness, that's the kind of company that I want to be working with on that scale.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
What is the biggest challenge as a woman founder and leader that you've faced so far?
Doing it all. And I don't have kids, so I don't know how. I mean, moms are super heroes.
Listen,
crazy respect.
I recently got married and I've been with my husband for 4 years. I'm a stepmommy.
Same.
And
12 years in, but you know, I even say I'm a step.
I say I'm a bonus. I'm a bonus mom.
I'm a step aunt. I'm your girlfriend. Like they don't want another mom. I don't really want to be a mom. I don't want to be a mom at all. So we always had that vibe where I was like, cool, you can borrow my clothes. We can talk about boys, but you got a mom. So
I love
it's a healthy
that.
place to be.
You know, I love that. And it's hard. It is really hard to balance.
Do it all. Yeah.
That's
the balancing point that I'm trying, you know, and it's like now with technology, you know, I have to force myself to not bring my iPad to bed. I've stopped doing that. Now that I don't write grants for Health and Hood anymore, I did that for 11 years. Now that I don't have as many grant deadlines, we finally have a grant writer. Oh, God, 11 years later. Now I don't take my iPad to bed, but I just stay on the couch later with it. So it's like a balance, you know? And when you're running 2 entities, you really are switching hats all the time. But that's being a founder, and that's kind of the beauty of it too, is being able to sort of use all those different parts of your brain and creativity and logistics and execution. And then when you get something like a binary event and you do it and you nail it, it's like, oh, what a win.
This episode is brought to you by HBU Media, creative and marketing agency, helping brands scale to their grandest desires. If you want more information, go to hbumediastudio.com.
And we were talking about before, so let's talk about being a founder.
Yep.
There's so many entrepreneurs out there, and obviously the entrepreneur and the founder life gets very glamorized because social media does its thing.
Yep.
Let's talk about the moments where it's not so glamorous.
Yeah, that's like 90% of the time, I would say. You know, it's that like, as I said, I got up at 6 this morning so I could make sure I got a workout in so that I had nice, clear brain thoughts to have today. Like it's a lot that goes into what looks like you just sort of showed up to talk. You have put together this beautiful studio and thoughtful questions and a whole series that makes sense and tells a story. Like there's so much that goes in behind it. But that's almost the beauty of it, is that not making it look simple, but just like showing people that you absolutely can. You got to be passionate. You got to feel called. But you can absolutely make it happen. But it does take a lot of that back of house work, which I think I try to show on my social media.
You do so well,
so
honestly.
What else am I gonna talk about? This is literally what I'm doing right now.
You really are so thoughtful with the content that you share, because you really show the gamut of when you're in the weeds, when you're actually in your meetings, when you're at the supermarket shopping for your produce, and like you being in your meetings, you do a beautiful job, by the way. Because there are a lot of the times where I can't do it just because whether I'm producing,
in a meeting.
I'm in a meeting, or I just, there's sometimes, that's why I even hire a content creator. And obviously, but that's more resources. So it's like a whole thing.
That's the scrappy part we were talking about, being scrappy. I think that also comes from running a not-for-profit. Like we're just scrappy to our core. You have to be to stay alive for 13 years. You have to be scrappy. So that comes as part of being an entrepreneur and a founder.
And what belief did you have to let go of to truly embrace the founder experience?
I think we touched on it in the beginning of the talk, like thinking that you have to solve everything at once. That'll make you get back in bed. You know, you have to just wake up every day knowing that you're going to chip away at it a little bit more, and you're not going to solve it all at once, and it's going to keep evolving and growing. And that's the beauty of the process.
And what part of building something like this that nobody prepares you for? I mean, I know it's everything.
All of it, but probably like the loneliness. It can feel a little bit lonely sometimes because you've chosen to do something that not everyone has chosen. And so your struggles are different. You can't talk about it with everybody unless it's you or like someone who's in the same boat. So I think it can feel a little bit lonely sometimes, but that's also, again, kind of the beauty of it. It's like, okay, damn, I did that. by myself.
By myself.
I mean, of course you have a team and
Oh.
resources, but it's like you are the hub. You are the driving force. So there's a beauty to that loneliness too.
Let's talk about the nervous system.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Only a couple years ago, let's say like 2, when it's wild, I didn't know what the nervous system was. I've heard about it, and I thought it was just for doctors or medical people to understand, but everybody used to talk about the nervous system.
Yeah.
And I started to really understand what the nervous system was and nervous system health is when I finally moved in with my now husband. He has a big family. I'm an only child, so it was a completely different atmosphere.
Oh my God, same.
And then I was feeling that I was going out of my mind, like zapped every moment because of the chaos. I've always lived in silence, right? Only child.
We're very comfortable with ourselves.
Exactly.
And being alone. We need it.
We completely need it. And then I thought, number one, something was wrong with me.
Okay.
I thought I had to break up with my fiance. I was like, this is not working.
Yeah.
But then
I get that.
when then I started to do a little digging, I'm like, it's something called my nervous system. Why aren't we taught about the nervous system?
Why aren't we taught about anything?
Anything.
Women's health, politics, there's so much that's sort of scrubbed. I think because it's not pretty and it doesn't have rainbows on it all the time. And I think it's also really empowering. And there's some parts of our society that don't want us to be and feel empowered. And I think, to your point, it was a medical thing. I think that now we're looking at things from a more holistic lens, which is beautiful, that the nervous system is hard to ignore anymore. And I think so many of us have fried our nervous systems or just have dysregulated nervous systems that we're like, oh, that makes sense. That is something I need to start to pay attention to. And I have power and a core to do that. So
and you talk about it, and it's just, for me now, everything is about the nervous system.
Yeah.
I talk to my girls about the nervous system because the earlier you speak about your nervous system and how to regulate yourself. And me working in media for the last 20 plus years, my nervous system was fried.
Sure.
Living in fight or flight.
Absolutely.
But
Constantly on. It's a lot. So, but you can do it. You just have to make sure you're being cognizant and that you're regulating when you need to regulate, or that you are able to just recognize those patterns of like, okay, this is dysregulating me. Maybe
there's nothing wrong with me.
Nothing wrong with you.
I don't have to break up with my significant
no,
other.
Thank God you didn't. He's amazing. Thank goodness you didn't do that. But kudos to you for being self-aware enough to realize, okay, there's something off, and I have the autonomy to do something about it and to learn a little more and to dig a little bit deeper and peel those layers back. And it's really like the most natural thing. So this idea of like regulating your nervous system being something that you need external things to do, you don't. You don't need a red light bed. Red light bed would be nice.
It'll be nice, but
I'll never buy a Birkin bag. I would buy a red light bed in 2 seconds.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
But you don't need all those expensive tools. You need to put your feet on the ground. Take your foot out of a shoe. Look at the sun. Take a few deep breaths. Learn how to breathe. There are so many things we can do that are just literally free and at our beck and call that are powerful tools to keep your nervous system regulated. So it's just that little shift that you did.
That shift, right?
Yeah.
So for somebody listening, so many people other than my mom.
And mine.
Yeah, yay. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Mom.
And they've never really heard about the nervous system, or they're finally getting into the world of wellness and finally taking care of themselves. What are the top 3 things that you would tell them to do right now?
So
download the Cure app.
I keep it simple. Food, movement, longevity. Food is medicine. Movement is medicine. Do things every day that your future self is going to thank you for. And you approach it from that lens. It's like you're thinking everything that I'm doing is either going to hurt me or heal me. And it doesn't have to be heavy. And some things you would do are going to hurt you, but that's okay. Do something the next day that's going to heal you as well.
Let's talk about longevity. We live in such an amazing time, right? And aging is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel us being in our 40s.
Yeah.
And obviously we're in the media where we have been sold this myth as to when you age,
just goes downhill. And you need $7 billion to keep your face up. Like, you don't. I mean,
you need $7 billion, but it's true. That's the constant myth that we're being sold to. But I think it's beautiful, truly, right now that we have these conversations. Number one, I tell my younger girls and obviously friends that are younger that it only keeps getting better.
It gets better. I've never felt better in my skin, literally. I've never felt more confident, and I think that the conversation is really changing around, okay, you get older and that's it, you decline.
Who's benefiting from selling that lie?
Well, I think you could take your pick. It's food, pharma, it's all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the option now to buck against that. And it doesn't mean, you got to be an outlier, but there are ways that you can sort of take that ownership and take back that control, that don't cost anything, that put you in the driver's seat of your health, that really sort of preserve the future you, because it's not just like, okay, I'm 40, I'm just going to decline now. It's like, I'm 40, I've got muscle. Let me hold on to that. Let me build it some more. And then that's going to protect my brain when I'm 60. Because you start to see signs of dementia and decline in your 80s, but that didn't start in your 80s or your 70s. 80s, if you're lucky. 70s usually. That starts in your 30s, the choices that you're making. If you're moving, if you're eating well, if you're hydrating, if you're getting enough sleep, managing your stress, those are the things that build up over years, over decades. So I think it's important to think, I always say this, thinking about your health in decades instead of days.
You hit it on the head. I mean, my father, he's been going through heart health problems. 3 years ago, he had triple bypass. And ever since then, he's healthy. But I think when that really happened to our family, that's when personally I was like,
okay,
the bell started to ring. I was like, wait. Obviously, we don't know when things are going to hit, but there's a sense of, I am strong, I'm great, nothing's ever going to happen to me. But obviously, when it hits your family in such a close sector, you're like,
okay?
oh yeah, he's definitely okay. I mean, but he's still going through complications. So now we're like obviously going through how we're going to eat, not only how you're going to eat, but I'm thinking, how am I going to eat? How I'm going to convince my family? How am I going to convince the entire clan at home how to eat? But it definitely starts now. And
it starts now. And I said, I have to be careful who I say this to, so I'll say it here where it's a safe space.
It is a safe space.
Honestly, so we're at the age where our parents, if they are not lifting weights, maintaining muscle, and taking care of themselves in a really intentional way now, they're not going to be independent in their 80s. And my husband's 17 years older, so I just watch that. If you are not taking care of yourself, the onus and the burden falls on your children.
And your partner.
And
it's funny because, like I said, this is a safe space. I tell Sebastian, my husband, I'm like, you better take care of yourself because the onus is I'm gonna be taking care of you, and that's unfair.
Oh yeah. So Cyrus and I, he's like, my husband's the best, but he's like, being married to a health coach is trying. You think like you only get me for 45 minutes. I mean, every time he picks up a paper cup, which is lined with plastic. Most people don't realize that. That's the one I'm trying to break right now. I got him off the wireless headphones. He now uses wired headphones. But I cannot get him off the coffee cups, the travel coffee cups, because every time you put a hot liquid in those cups, you're getting thousands.
And we don't know that.
We have to know
we have to know that.
I know,
but those are little things that
there's so many things.
And it's obviously because it's now in our faces. Sometimes I'm like, there's nothing that we can eat or touch without getting poisoned. You know? And it's kind of like a Russian roulette. And obviously we are a glass half full type of people.
We are. And there's a solution to everything. So like sauna is like definitely a non-negotiable when it comes to your longevity.
Okay.
Or sweating or sauna in some capacity. You don't have to have one of the crazy infrared sauna things.
I love
Sweating is just fine, but making sure that you are sweating on a regular basis
is important.
Is one of the best ways to keep your body detoxed.
All right, I love it. So 5 non-negotiables for Asha Walker.
Only 5.
I know.
Warm over cold.
I started doing that the last 6 months.
How's your digestion?
So much better.
Yeah.
And also, since I've always been a host and always my instrument is my throat, I always leaned far away from anything cold. So that was
constricts.
100%.
Same thing for your gut. Stops your digestion. Slows, very, very much slows your digestion. So even like my foods, I'd rather have warm, steamed foods. I could do this all day. Charred meats, hard no.
Really?
Charred meats.
What does that mean, charred meats?
So anything that's pan-fried, blackened, grilled, that has that nice crispy char on the outside, it's carcinogenic. So
Damn.
people are colon cancer rates are going out of
Isn't
control.
that insane that colon cancer
And
rates are going up?
younger and younger people. So
Why? It's because of that.
I
and-
mean, there's still
well,
data
obviously.
still coming out.
Mhm.
My good friend is a colon cancer surgeon. And she says that the recommendations will take a decade to be updated. So like we should be getting colonoscopies a decade earlier, but it's going to take another decade for people in their 40s to get that recommendation. So we have to do it ourselves right now.
100%.
We don't have all the data. So just knowing that things that are super duper
All my tests that I'm
fried-
supposed to get in 10 years from now, I'm starting to do them now, especially
and
because
that's a smart thing to do. People
Yeah.
can say, "Oh my God, that's too." What's the harm in being proactive?
100%.
So yeah, so charred meats, hard no. Sleep and having proper sleep hygiene.
Girl, I get my
Non-negotiable.
sleep all the time.
I love that. I love that. And it takes work. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to just put the lights on. You got to make sure you're not getting too much blue light at night, that your melatonin's able to rise, that you're seeing sunlight first thing in the morning, because that tells your circadian rhythm, okay, from 12 hours from now, start to release melatonin. So it takes all day to be working on your sleep at night. Exercising during the day helps you sleep better at night. So sleep hygiene and really sort of weaving those into your whole day is another non-negotiable. 8 hours is my sweet spot when I can get it. Ooh.
That is I'm
unstoppable.
My boundary at home is 8 hours.
Has to be. And you're not selfish. You're not like, that's just what we need that.
I tell Sebastian, I'm like, hello. We speak for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What am I down to? 2 more. I'll go back to my pillars. Moving your body every day. You know, it doesn't have to be a crazy workout, killing yourself in the gym, but you know, they always say like sitting for 8 hours is killing us. So even if you're getting up and doing 10 squats every 45 minutes, that has a great impact on your glucose levels. So making sure that your blood sugar isn't spiking all the time is really important. Staying still and eating and not moving, I could do this all day, eating your sort of carbs before you eat your protein. There's so many things we can be doing to keep our blood sugar sort of stabilized. But one of the best things is movement. So movement every day. And the last one would be food, using food as medicine, eating colorful foods every day, making sure you've got that balanced plate so that your glucose stays stable, would be my non-negotiables.
What does modern leadership look like to you? And I ask all my guests that because the aligned authority is all about what happens after we reach the peak.
Do we
right?
ever peak? I don't know.
There's times where we think what we wanted we get, and then all of a sudden you look at the sunrise and you look at the land and you're like, this is not what I really
called
thought.
to do the next thing.
Right?
The bar changes.
So modern leadership is just so interesting to me because our guests talk about the way they pivot, the way they continue, but specifically, I love to see what you're doing now because your leadership is not what leadership looked like before.
Yeah.
It's not in a boardroom.
It's a really great question. I think it's like you said, it's being able to sort of shift hats, make those pivots, and knowing what type of leader you are. Like, there's not one set model, and so knowing, like, I lead my team with heart. You know, I'm not.
I know that. I mean, like, you can. Everybody knows that.
I'm not a great whip cracker. I'm the softie, and my 2 co-executive directors are incredible. They're like, your timesheet's off by a quarter of a second, so let's make sure we time. You know,
but you need those.
You need that
those people
to
in
run
your
a
corner.
tight ship. You have to, especially if you're a not-for-profit. You can't be bleeding dollars anywhere. So
you can't be.
Yeah.
What do you wish you were? What do you wish you heard as your younger self?
And I think you have to go through all the phases of all the things, but if I could have skipped them and told myself, like, you know, skip the years of doubting yourself.
Oh, that is
skip
so
the
good.
like questioning whether or not I deserve to be in this room. Like, just you do. Skip that part. I feel like the Gen Zers, Xers, the young ones, the kids.
I lost count.
The kids, the younger, you know, the kids.
The youngins.
They have that confidence sort of built in, which is great. I'd like to see that keep growing. I'd like to see them learn more human relationship skills too. But I think that they have this sort of, whether it's entitlement or confidence, somewhere in between.
But just ride the wave.
Ride the wave, yeah.
Were you always that confident, or did you grow into it, or when was
therapy and Reiki and learning
all the
myself,
E's.
all the E's, getting older? It comes with age for sure. I think the more you start to learn yourself, the more confident you become, for sure.
You're absolutely right. I think it was in my late 30s when I started to just really understand all the times I fell on my face and all the moments where I thought I didn't belong. I think that obviously creates that muscle.
Yeah.
But I think now the younger generation, because they're seeing it, they're seeing themselves represented, they're seeing their voices, they're seeing what's
We're
possible.
pretty good examples, not gonna lie. I mean, for real. We didn't have this type of sort of, role model to look up to. I think that's really powerful. Like you say, to see ourselves in somebody doing something we'd like to do. It's like, oh, I could do that.
And have you thought about creating your own podcast?
I've thought about it.
You would
then
do
I'm
so.
like, oh, there's so
I
many
know,
things
it's
to do
another
first.
thing.
And then I put it into Claude. I'm like, what's my top priority? Is it the cookbook? Is it the 21-day program? Is it the wellness retreats? So,
And what does she tell you?
so we've got a good plan. We've got, the ROI, I think, is the most important thing to stack. So, figuring out what your actual capacity is and not overwhelming it, making sure like I can keep my Substack going and my socials while also building out a 21-day program.
You have a Substack?
I have a Substack.
I think I remember seeing that.
I mean, she's
Talk to
slowly
me
but
about
surely growing.
Substack.
I think it's a great fun space. I can write a caption that will go on Instagram like, you're done. So it's a fun space to like be able to extrapolate.
Your Substack will never say.
A Substack, you can just keep going. I'm a writer by trade. Like I love writing. Creative writing was my favorite subject as a kid. So I'm not a math person. Hence the amazing co-executive directors who can run a budget. Like
I've never been a math person.
that's not my thing. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the sweet spot.
So what is a non-wellness habit that grounds you?
A non-wellness habit? Sweets.
Yeah, right.
Definitely, because you need them.
I know, I love my sweets.
And it's a balance. Like I will make my sweet potato brownies one week, and then the next week I'll have rainbow cookies from Joseph's because those are my favorite.
And is there a certain collaboration that would be your ultimate dream? Anybody out there?
So many. I have women's health on my vision board for this year. I've had it every year for the last 3 years.
That's going to happen for
right?
you.
So I'm just like putting those little nuggets out there. I want to be able to share this story and this kind of empowering message that we are our best cures with the world.
Is there anybody else out there that is doing something that you're doing that you would want to do a collab? I mean, there's only one Asha Walker, that's for sure.
Asha Walker Wellness, that's for sure. So many. I mean, there's so many amazing people in this space now that have different niche sort of expertise areas. So I wouldn't pick just one. I think that there's such incredible women in this space. We need even more of us. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's an open book. There's so many I could just sort of pull out of thin air of people who I just respect deeply and would love to do collabs with, from chefs to nutritionists to non-toxic, low-tox living experts. And when it runs the gamut to like menopause doctors, and there's just so much information out there that like health, like you say, is a part of all of it. So there's like an endless list of folks I think would be amazing to collab with.
And if all of our community out there wanted to learn more about you, where can they find you? Where can they download the app? Where can we find all the things?
I'm easy to find. So AshaWalkerWellness.com is sort of the main hub. Health in the Hood, obviously, .org is the not-for-profit site. And then the Cured app is available on Apple and Android.
Asha, thank you so much for inspiring us and truly being the face of modern leadership.
Oh, now I'm going to cry again. You're the best.
Asha, thank you for being here.
Me.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Aligned Authority podcast. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Apple. And make sure to sign up for our newsletter to be able to get filled in all the amazing things that we're doing in our community, the latest updates on our guests. And if you're already a part of the Aligned community, you already know.